Cray, my young.
K.I. my young killer. A lot of niggas be rapping, but we the ones tote guns.
Today, we delve into the dark underbelly of Chicago's violent streets plagued by gun violence, where a 17-year-old female assassin named Gakira Barnes, also known as K.I., met her tragic end at the hands of the notorious rapper and Black Disciple member King Von. Shoot to Kill, a series of escalating incidents between the O Block and STL gangs fueled the animosity between King Von and K.I. The rivalries played out not only on the streets, but also on social media platforms, where taunting and disrespect were the norm. September 25th, 2012 was a key date that exemplified the dangerous consequences of gang violence on social media. On that fateful day, a heated feud between two prominent Chicago gang members, K.I. and King Von, escalated to a shocking level. K.I., a rising star in the gang scene, had gained a significant following on social media platforms. Her posts often showcased her involvement in criminal activities, including drug dealing and gun possession. King Von, a rival gang member, took offense to K.I.'s online presence and decided to confront her in person. The confrontation took place on a crowded train, with unaware passengers caught in the middle of the escalating tension. They started to fight as soon as they saw each other on the train. King Von punched K.I. in the face multiple times. Then he took to Twitter to let everybody know what he did to her. She would acknowledge what happened, but said, "Ain't got shit but a bruise on my face, but ain't tripping that 40 cal. Put a hole in Nat Opper's face." The train altercation between King Von and K.I. was just the beginning of a tumultuous journey that would play out on the digital battleground of Twitter. 4 days after the incident, K.I. took to her account, throwing down the gauntlet with a simple yet attention-grabbing tweet: "Retweet if you think I look good." It didn't take long for King Von to respond, retweeting her post and reigniting the flames of their rivalry. 3 days later, K.I. found herself embroiled in yet another altercation, this time with Lil Scud, a close friend of King Von and a fellow member of O Block. Eager to assert her dominance, K.I. wasted no time in proclaiming her victory on Twitter, proudly declaring that she had beaten up Lil Scud single-handedly without him landing a single punch on her. King Von, never one to shy away from a challenge, responded to K.I.'s claim, acknowledging her prowess and even suggesting that he might be in love with her. However, K.I.'s response took a sharp turn as she called King Von gay, striking a nerve with him. He swiftly admonished her, urging her not to make such comments and asserting that he would treat her right. The Twitter war between King Von and K.I. escalated further when King Von decided to take their interactions to the private realm of direct messages. His first message to K.I. was bold and direct. "What up? I'm trying to change you and upgrade you. I want to nail something. What's up?" K.I. appeared taken aback by the explicit nature of the message, but King Von quickly clarified that it wasn't him who sent the initial message. He then professed his genuine liking for K.I., expressing his desire to be with her once the gang war in Chicago subsided. In a surprising turn of events, K.I. confided in King Von about a rumor circulating in the streets, claiming that O Block was planning to kill her. King Von confirmed the truth behind the rumors, but expressed his hesitation, believing that K.I. was actually cool and not deserving of such a fate. The two delved into a deeper conversation, discussing their shared belief that they would both meet their demise in the ongoing gang war. K.I., feeling a sense of threat from O Block, voiced her readiness to go to war with anyone who crossed her path. King Von, however, urged her to consider a different approach, advising her that enemies should be treated as enemies. K.I. responded with a simple question: "What do you expect?" highlighting the harsh reality of their circumstances. The next morning, K.I. kicked off the day by dissing O.D. Perry, a respected member of Wick City, who had tragically lost his life a few years prior. King Von, coming across her tweet, couldn't resist the opportunity to taunt her, stating, "See, that's why you keep getting beat up." K.I., undeterred, challenged King Von to pull up, to which he responded with a regretful remark about what he should have done after their fight, but ultimately urged her to leave it in the streets. The tension between King Von and K.I. spilled over into the real world when King Von went outside in search of K.I., only to encounter a group of rival gang members at a local corner store. According to King Von, they were intimidated by his presence and had the store employees lock the door to keep him out. He immediately took to Twitter to share this encounter, catching K.I.'s attention. Concerned, she expressed her intention to come to his aid, but King Von quickly advised her against it, as he was already leaving the store. K.I., not one to back down, called him funny and declared that she would find him wherever he was, prompting King Von to caution her to be smart. 4 days later, the Twitter war between King Von and K.I. resumed. K.I. reached out to King Von, asking him where he was and urging him to come outside. King Von's response was simple yet firm: "Don't mess with me." K.I., seizing the opportunity, took a slight dig at O Block and their activities in the streets. King Von, seemingly unfazed, proposed a shocking idea to K.I., asking if she wanted to engage in a shootout with him, even mentioning his friend T. Roy. To everyone's surprise, K.I. responded with a resounding hell yeah. King Von, perhaps not taking her seriously, replied with the hashtag #VeryScary. K.I. then claimed that she had been around O-Block and hadn't seen anyone outside, insinuating that they were afraid of her. King Von simply responded with a dismissive "Ha." The conversation between King Von and K.I. went dark for 3 days, leaving their followers on the edge of their seats. However, King Von couldn't resist reaching out to K.I. once again, this time with a provocative message. He asked when she would let her hair down and put on a tight dress for him, boldly stating that he would risk his life for a chance with her. K.I. chose not to respond to this message, leaving their interaction hanging in the air. For the next week, silence reigned between the two rivals. But then, on October 24th, 2012, K.I. made a bold announcement on Twitter. She declared her intention to visit Swisher Sweets, a popular store located in O-Block territory. King Von, quick to intervene, replied to her tweet, warning her against it, stating, "Don't do that. Today is not the day." K.I., feeling as though King Von had been avoiding her, expressed her frustration, claiming that she never saw him despite always being outside. King Von defended himself, asserting that he had seen her before, but their paths seemed to cross at different times. The conversation ended with a simple LOL from K.I., leaving their followers eagerly anticipating the next chapter in this gripping saga. In the weeks leading up to her untimely demise, tensions reached a boiling point. Shootings and retaliatory attacks became a daily occurrence, leaving the community on edge. K.I. found herself caught in the crossfire, facing constant threats to her life. "I know death is always lurking, but I ain't gonna let fear control me. I'm ready for whatever comes my way. I've seen too many of my friends fall, and I won't let their deaths be in vain." She posted this to her social media. K.I.'s words carried a weight of inevitability, as if she knew her time was limited. She spoke openly about the cycle of violence and the toll it took on her community. The day arrived when the streets claimed another victim. On April 11th, 2014, K.I. herself became a victim of the ongoing violence. K.I. found herself in the wrong place at the wrong time. Gunshots rang out, shattering the peace and forever altering the lives of those involved. On that fateful day, members of O-Block, including Big A, confronted K.I., FBG, Butta, and Cray Cray STL-EBT on EBT Block. The sound of gunfire shattered the silence, leaving K.I. lifeless and Butta and Cray injured. She was shot multiple times. The loss of K.I. left a void that could never be filled. Her friends, family, and fellow gang members mourned the loss of a charismatic teenager, while the community grappled with the ongoing cycle of violence that claimed yet another young life. K.I.'s untimely demise also ignited a spark within the community. It sparked conversations about the need for change, for an end to the violence that has plagued the streets for far too long. Her legacy serves as a rallying cry for unity, education, and investment in resources that empower the youth. Rumors surrounding King Von's involvement were not baseless. Factors such as his known gang affiliations and his reported presence in the vicinity of the shooting fueled these speculations. The Chicago Police Department, acting on these leads and the need to piece together the puzzle, brought King Von in for questioning. However, it's paramount to note that a police interrogation is not an admission of guilt. As the dust settled and time moved on, no concrete evidence or court testimonies directly linked King Von to the tragic demise of K.I. It would take until 2021 for the rumors surrounding her killer to be put to bed with the release of unsealed police documents. In the documents, it reportedly shows that witnesses named rapper King Von, who was thought to be a member of the Black Disciples, as the alleged shooter. At just 17 years of age, what was this teenage girl caught up in all of this violence? It begs the question, why K.I.? Death, a common theme. In the heart of Chicago, a city plagued by violence, a young girl named Gakira Barnes was born into a world of chaos and despair. Growing up in the notorious South Side, Gakira faced a harsh reality from an early age. Poverty, crime, and gang activity were the norm in her neighborhood, and it seemed as though there was no escape. Gakira's upbringing was far from idyllic. Raised in a single-parent household, her mother struggled to make ends meet, working long hours just to put food on the table. With limited resources and a lack of positive role models, Gakira found solace in the streets, where survival meant joining a gang. At the tender age of 13, Gakira was initiated into one of the most notorious gangs in Chicago. It was here that she earned her street name, K.I., which stood for Killer Instinct. The name was a reflection of her ruthless nature and her willingness to do whatever it took to survive in the unforgiving streets. As K.I. became more deeply involved in the gang wars, her reputation grew. She quickly gained a reputation as a skilled shooter, feared by rivals and respected by her peers. Her ability to handle firearms with precision and accuracy was unmatched, making her a force to be reckoned with. Why K.I.?
I'm from STL when I be posted on EDT.
Gakira's father's tragic death when she was just a baby left a lasting impact on her. Before she could even celebrate her first birthday, a shadow cast over her family. Her father, a man rumored to be a gang leader in the city's intricate underworld, was brutally taken from them. An AK-47 shot rang out, echoing in front of their home, sealing his fate. However, K.I.'s mother, the resilient Chantel Brown, always stood firm, denying the whispers about her husband's alleged ties. But fate wasn't done testing young K.I. Another devastating blow came when she had to witness the unthinkable. One of her brothers, a pillar of strength in her life, was murdered right before her innocent eyes. This was the turning point. When K.I. entered her teenage years, she found solace and a sense of belonging in the Tookerville and Flyboy gangs, two groups of young men from her neighborhood in Woodlawn on the south side of Chicago. The St. Lawrence Boys, as they were initially known, later adopted the name Tookerville in honor of their fallen comrade, 15-year-old Shondell Tooker Gregory. Tooker was shot to death while waiting for a bus in January 2011, a tragic event that would forever change the course of K.I.'s life. Tooker's death marked a turning point for the group as they transformed into the Tookerville Gang, vowing to avenge their fallen friend. K.I., deeply affected by the loss, embraced her new identity within the gang, adopting the Facebook name Tookerville Kira. She became a symbol of loyalty and strength, standing alongside her male counterparts, ready to defend her turf at any cost. But the violence didn't stop there. The rival O-Block gang became a constant source of tension and conflict. The animosity between the two gangs escalated when a 20-year-old O-Block member named O.D. Perry was shot to death. Online rumors circulated suggesting that K.I. was the hitter, the one responsible for O.D.'s killing. However, the police never officially named her as a suspect. The ongoing rivalry between Tookerville and O-Block claimed more lives, further fueling the cycle of violence. In November 2011, Carlton Tutu Archer, a member of the Tookerville gang, was shot to death. K.I. mourned his loss and posted a photo on social media, paying tribute to him with her hands pressed together in prayer. The killing seemed to have no end in sight, as the streets of Chicago became a battleground for these warring factions. Amidst the chaos, another tragedy struck that would deeply affect K.I. and solidify her reputation as a fierce protector. 13-year-old Taekwon Tyler, who had been moved away from Chicago by his mother to escape the violence, returned for a visit in June 2012. Tragically, he was killed by a stray bullet when two grown gang members fired into a crowd of youngsters leaving a party. Taekwon's death hit K.I. hard, and she grieved for him as if he were her own little brother. In honor of Taekwon, she adopted the Twitter handle Taekwon Assassin, vowing to keep his memory alive. The rap rivalry between the Tookerville gang and Black Disciples intensified, with a young Tookerville associate named Joseph Lil Jojo Coleman recording a diss track against Chief Keef and his crew. Lil Jojo boldly declared "We BDK" in the song, with the K standing for killers. However, Lil Jojo's life was tragically cut short when he was shot to death in September 2012, shortly after tweeting his location while riding on the back of a friend's bicycle. The violence continued to escalate, claiming more lives in its wake. On Christmas Day 2012, 18-year-old Joshua J. Loud Davis was gunned down, seemingly targeted because he was wearing a Lil Jojo hooded sweatshirt. J. Loud had dreams of becoming a rapper and providing a better life for his mother, but his aspirations were tragically cut short. Marlon Monroe, a 21-year-old aspiring painter, was shot dead on April 28, 2012. As he was taking a walk around the block, a passing gunman unleashed a hail of bullets, one of which found its mark on Marlon. In a cruel twist of fate, Marlon stumbled and fell into a patch of tall weeds in an empty lot adjacent to the store. His family later revealed that he had been struck by the gunfire and was unable to make it inside the shop. The scene was chaotic and filled with terror as the sound of gunshots echoed through the neighborhood. The police were called to investigate the shooting, but what happened next was truly shocking. After cleaning up the scene, they left without noticing Marlon lying in the lot. His cousin, Crystal Monroe Turner, expressed her disbelief, sharing that he lay there for an hour while the police unknowingly discarded the bullet shells. It wasn't until hours later that Marlon's lifeless body was discovered. A 16-year-old relative, in a rush to make curfew, happened to cross through the abandoned lot and made the heartbreaking discovery. The location was the 6,300 block of South St. Lawrence Avenue, forever marked by this tragic event. Boss Trell, also known as BT Trell, King of Hits, and Max Payne. He was a gangster disciple from the notorious STL-EBT gang. The reign of Boss Trell was marked by bloodshed and a reign of terror. But as the saying goes, what goes around comes around. In November 2012, BT expressed a desire to leave Chicago and start a new life in Idaho, perhaps seeking redemption or escape from the life he had built. Little did he know that fate had other plans for him. On November 8, 2012, BT's life came to a violent end. He was shot multiple times, his body clinging to life as he was rushed to the hospital. But his injuries proved too severe, and he succumbed to his wounds, leaving behind a legacy of violence and destruction. Another loss on K.I.'s side was Lil B. B. It was a fateful day, March 29, 2014, when the life of Lil B took a devastating turn. Engaged in a drug dealing operation, Lil B found himself in a precarious situation, unaware that his actions would lead to a tragic and fatal encounter with law enforcement. As the shadows of the evening grew longer, Lil B's world was shattered by the sudden appearance of two police officers. Realizing the gravity of the situation, he instinctively knew that he had to escape. With adrenaline coursing through his veins, Lil B sprinted through the streets, desperately, seeking refuge in the maze-like alleys of the 62N/63 Ard Roads area. Officers claimed that Lil B picked up a Glock Model 22 semi-automatic handgun from the ground. The tension in the air was palpable as the officers, their weapons drawn, confronted Lil B. They demanded that he drop the weapon, hoping to defuse the escalating situation. But in the chaos and confusion of the moment, Lil B's actions took a tragic turn. Instead of complying with the officers' orders, Lil B made a fateful decision. He pointed the gun in the direction of one of the officers, a split-second choice that would have dire consequences. In a desperate bid to protect themselves and their fellow officers, the police were left with no choice but to defend themselves. A single gunshot pierced the air, followed by a flurry of rapid gunfire. The sound of bullets echoed through the alley, shattering the silence of the night. Lil B, driven by fear and desperation, had fired at one of the officers, forever altering the course of his own destiny. The other officer, fearing for his life and the lives of his colleagues, unleashed a barrage of bullets in Lil B's direction. The shots rang out, striking Lil B 7 times in the back. Despite his wounds, Lil B summoned the last remnants of his strength, vaulting over a nearby gate in a desperate attempt to escape. But fate had already sealed his tragic fate. Lil B's body, weakened and bleeding, stumbled towards a porch, his final destination. With each agonizing step, his life force waned until he collapsed upon the porch, his dreams and aspirations extinguished forever. The death of Lil B created an unquenched thirst for vengeance in K.I., and she would go on to own her name, Killer Instinct. In the end, we are all architects of our actions. Assassin's Creed. In the midst of Chicago's violent landscape, K.I. emerged as one of the city's most infamous shooters. Her reputation as a ruthless and skilled assassin spread like wildfire, striking fear into the hearts of her rivals and commanding respect from her peers. K.I.'s rise to infamy was not without its fair share of conflicts and alliances. She was a key player in the ongoing gang wars that ravaged the streets of Chicago. Her loyalty to her gang was unwavering, and she would stop at nothing to protect her family. But as the violence escalated, K.I. found herself caught in a web of rivalries and personal vendettas. The first whispers of K.I.'s deadly actions began when she was just 14 years old. It was said that she had taken a life, seeking revenge for a murdered friend. This act of violence at such a young age shocked the community and solidified her reputation as a force to be reckoned with. The streets whispered her name, and she became known as a shooter, a diminutive gap-toothed girl gunsel who was nobody's. Gakira's reputation as a hitter grew, as rumors circulated that she was responsible for the death of O-Block member O.D. Perry. The police never named her as a suspect, but the streets whispered her name in fear. O.D.'s reputation preceded him, as he was known for his loyalty, fearlessness, and unwavering dedication to his gang. O.D.'s life took a tragic turn on that fateful day, August 10, 2011. As he rode his bike across the street from WYC City, an unknown assailant approached him, unleashing a hail of bullets. The shots rang out, piercing O.D.'s body, striking him in the right side of his neck, left shoulder, back, and buttocks. The streets that once echoed with his presence were now stained with his blood. O.D. Perry was not just a name, he was a symbol of strength and loyalty. His influence extended far beyond the boundaries of his gang. He formed deep connections with individuals such as Trey 5, Boss Top, his cousin, J Money, Big A, Boss Sean, T-Roy, Lil Reese, Fredo, Dirk, Von, Shiroid, Chief Keef, Patoon, GBE Capo, Breezy, DeThang, M-Thang, and countless others. From 2012 to 2014, O.D. was at the center of constant disrespect and taunting from K.I. The rap rivalries and the violence associated with them became a focal point in the Chicago music scene. The Flyboy Gang, including K.I., released a music video titled Murder in July 2013. The video showcased the raw reality of their lives, with K.I. appearing small and impossibly young but exuding confidence among her male counterparts. Holding an automatic pistol, her face partially covered by a black bandana, she embodied the fearless and ruthless nature that had become her trademark. The video served as a warning to those who dared to cross the Flyboy Gang, a reminder that their actions would have dire consequences. It also shed light on the commercial interest in real street experiences, as the recording industry sought to capitalize on the sensationalism and allure of Chicago's drill music scene. It was also said that K.I. was involved in the death of J Money. J Money, a rising star in the underground rap scene and a highly respected member of the all-black gang, found himself at the center of a horrifying chain of events that would ultimately lead to his untimely demise. On that fateful day, J Money, accompanied by his fellow all-black members E-Dog and Prince Dre, set out to do a mundane task: laundry. Little did they know that their every move was being closely monitored by their rival, Lil B. Unbeknownst to J Money and his companions, Lil B had been tailing them, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Suddenly, without any warning, Lil B emerged from the shadows, his eyes filled with malice. In a split second, he pulled out his weapon and opened fire on J Money, shattering the tranquility of the neighborhood. J Money, initially taken aback by the sudden onslaught, fought through the pain and managed to gather his strength. With sheer determination, he rose to his feet and began to run, his heart pounding with fear and adrenaline. But Lil B was relentless in his pursuit. Fueled by a deep-seated hatred and a thirst for revenge, he chased J Money through the streets, firing shot after shot. Each bullet brought Lil B closer to his target, his intentions clear: to end J Money's life. The streets became a battleground as the sound of gunshots echoed through the air. J Money, desperate to escape the clutches of his assailant, pushed his body to the limit. But fate had a different plan. In a tragic twist of fate, Lil B's bullets found their mark. J Money was struck multiple times, each shot piercing through his body, until finally a fatal bullet struck him in the forehead. The vibrant energy that once radiated from J Money was extinguished in an instant. As J Money lay lifeless on the ground, the neighborhood descended into chaos. Residents, witnessing the horrifying scene, scrambled for cover, their lives forever scarred by the violence that had unfolded before their eyes.
The singer known as Blood Money was one of 9 people shot during a violent night across the city.
Mario Hess, that's his real name. His family is in shock this morning. They can't believe he's dead. It was just 2 weeks ago that he signed a record deal with a company out of Los Angeles.
Amidst this chaos, Gakira's alleged involvement in Mario Hess's death became a topic of speculation. The details of the incident remain murky, but the consequences were undeniable. Mario, a cousin of Chief Keef, found himself caught in the crosshairs of the ongoing feud, becoming a casualty of the violence that plagued the streets. The aftermath of Mario's death sent shockwaves through the community, further escalating the tensions between the Tuka gang and the Black Disciples. The loss of a family member fueled Chief Keef's desire for revenge, intensifying the cycle of violence that seemed to have no end. While Gakira's alleged involvement in Mario's death was never officially confirmed, the rumors persisted, further solidifying her reputation as a ruthless figure in the gang world. The streets whispered her name, and her presence loomed large over the ongoing conflict. But amidst the chaos and bloodshed, it is important to remember that Gakira was just a teenager, a young girl who had dreams of escaping the violence that surrounded her. She was a product of her environment, shaped by the circumstances she found herself in. For Gakira, the pursuit of vengeance came at a great personal cost. The constant cycle of violence and retaliation took a toll on her mental and emotional well-being. The weight of the lives lost and the bloodshed she witnessed began to wear on her, leaving scars that ran deeper than any physical wound. Gakira's mother, Chantel Brown, wants the world to know that her daughter was more than just a gun-wielding gang member. She was a beautiful and loved girl with dreams of escaping the violence that surrounded her. If you enjoyed this video, click on the card showing on your screen for more others like this.